I'm just innocently looking. What are you doing? What are you doing? You know.
Gonna get it on your coat. Kind of messy.
He's eaten like half of it and it's not even been a second.
He does have a very long
He's inhaling it. Oh.
I told you, don't wipe it with your coat, then you're gonna have goo on it. Where do I go? There we go. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Purls and Pyrs podcast. I am your host, Nina, otherwise known as Ine, on Ravelry, Instagram, Pinterest, all of the social medias. For new viewers, thank you for checking me out, and for returning viewers, thank you so much for sticking with me. I really appreciate it. So this is my first kind of official podcast of 2025. I did a 2024 wrap-up video, and I put that up in January, and I fully intended to record one with my 12 cast-ons for 2025, and I took until the very last day to cast on my 12th item, so I did not get it recorded as soon as I expected to. I also was traveling for work for a week, so I was out of state, and I did work on some of my 12 cast-ons, but yeah, as I said, just things were really busy, and despite January being 11 billion days long and so much happening in January, at least in US news, yeah, I just didn't have time to do a podcast. I also didn't read very much in the month of January. I only read 9 books, which is a very, very low total for me. Usually I read about a book a day or a book every other day. So only getting 9 books finished, that probably tells you everything you need to know about last month. There were times where I didn't even feel like reading. I just watched Great British Baking Show and just like retreated to my safe space. So anyway, inside my head, my safe space inside my head. I'm gonna pause it because I need to blow my nose. Anyway, my husband and son went for a hike. So this is kind of the quietest that the house is gonna be. So I wanted to get this recorded before this crazy whip pile, which is this high right now, got any higher, and then I can just kind of show you my progress as it happens throughout the year. So I do have a finished object and a half-finished object. I also have Joshua's socks done, his knee-high socks, but I think he's wearing them right now, so I didn't have those to share. So I think I'll just start with finished objects because I don't have a lot of time. I don't know how long they're going to be gone. It's like 29 degrees outside, so that's what's about -1 Celsius. And Joshua just took a hoodie, so I don't know how warm he's going to be, but they also both tend to run very warm, so they might be fine. So yeah. So this is my coffee date sweater. It was a test knit that I did for Samantha Guerin of Samantha Guerin Designs. I had the coffee date slip over, which I think is kind of like a dickie. And I had intended to knit it and I never did. And then she put up the picture for this, and I was like, I need to be on that test knit because I want this sweater in my life. So I was picked to test knit, which was really awesome. It was a very nice, soothing, relaxing, easy to do sweater. I think it would be a great like first sweater for someone because yeah, it's really straightforward. There are a few things that I changed for my particular one. So I knit the size 3. This is the nice thing about having a microphone. It doesn't mute me when I'm behind my knits. So I knit the size 3 of the pattern, which is the 40-inch chest. Sorry, I hear a beeping sound, so the dogs may start barking because it's probably a delivery vehicle, and Hubble goes freaking crazy. Now it's over at the neighbors, we'll be fine. It's just when stuff comes into our driveway, he doesn't like it. So anyway, but when I went to do the arms, I picked up 2 stitches for every 3 rows, which is kind of how I learned to do pickups along a vertical edge like this, to make it not look really crowded. And that ended up getting me to the stitch count for the size 5. But I liked how the arm fit, so I just went with it. So I knit the size 5 on the arms, and then I decreased back down to the size 3 right before the cuff. I just used an internet calculator to tell me how to spread the decreases out, and then I knit the cuffs. Now, when I originally finished it in time for the pictures for the test knit and the pattern release and stuff, it was the day I was leaving to go to Arizona for work. And I was like, I'm not even gonna have time to weave in ends, but I had washed and blocked it. So I was like, fine, I'm just gonna tuck all the ends in. I'm gonna take a picture upstairs in the sunlight, and that's just gonna have to be good enough. And then when I get back, I will try to take some better photos, but I'll at least have done what I needed to do for helping Samantha with selling the pattern. When I tried it on, the sleeves were way too long, so this yarn grew quite a bit more than my swatch had grown. I did swatch. I swatched, I washed, I blocked. I swatched in the round, so I did a big in the round swatch, and it didn't matter because it was a lying liar who lies. So I had this much extra on the arm that I didn't need, and the sleeves ended here. So like they literally were covering up my entire hand. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna take the picture. So I just kind of shoved them up strategically and took the picture. And then it kind of sat there for a little bit. And then like this week, I was like, I'm gonna do the ripping back now. Because I couldn't find my size 4 needles, which was what I used for the cuff. Then I figured out they're on one of my 12 cast-ons, so I took them off of that for a moment and ripped back, you know, 1 whole repeat. So this is a full chart repeat right here. This big lozenge shape and a smaller one. So I ripped back that much, plus the cuff, obviously, so this much of my knitting I ripped back, and then I just started the cuff and reknit the cuff. So I reknit both the cuffs. All but 2 ends are woven in, but I wanted to wear this to Costco with my husband because we went to Costco on our own and I took Friday off. So I wanted to wear it. So I just wove in as many ends as I could till it was time to go. So it's a drop shoulder construction. I knit this out of deep, deep stash. This was the first sweater quantity of yarn I ever bought. It is Lance du Nord Cash Silk, and I think it's the periwinkle color, but you know, it's a commercial yarn. It's discontinued at this point, but it is a DK weight. So the pattern calls for holding a fingering weight and a mohair double. And I asked Samantha if I could use DK because I was like, I have this in my stash and I think it would be perfect. I had just enough. This was moth damaged at one point, so I lost basically a skein and a half's worth to moths. And she was like, yeah, sure, go ahead, knit it in DK. That gets you gauge. So yeah, so I knit it in DK and I love it. This yarn is so soft after being washed and blocked. It was before too, but it's real spongy. So it's not super heavy. And I had maybe half a skein left. I had a little nugget the first time, but after ripping out that much from both sleeves, I actually have about half of a ball, but the balls were not very big. They were only like 87 or 90 yards. So I used about 1,200 yards for this sweater. So yeah, it's very nice. It's comfy, it's cozy. I knit it longer than Samantha did. I don't like things that just end right at my waistband, like where a belt would be. I don't like that on me. So I go down to kind of about halfway down the back pocket or the butt of pants, and that is kind of the length that I prefer. So that's where this one hits. And the sleeves now hit about right here. They kind of have shrunk up a little bit, but I also have not wet blocked them yet. So I think they will grow, but I intended for them to be about here. So I think if they grow as much as they did the first time for just the cuff, it should get to right where I want it to be. So anyway, so that's the coffee date sweater. And I really like how it turned out. It's definitely going to be in heavy rotation this winter. And then the other thing is a half object that I just finished today. So this is the first of the Cookie Swap socks by Dana Ray Makes. Okay. So these are truly just leftovers from a lot of different things. So this is leftovers of hedgehog fibers in the teacup colorway from a sweater. The only thing that isn't a leftover is the brown, and that is Plies and Hellhounds on the Marie Cutie base in the leather bound colorway. So I had a full skein of that. I am ripping it out of a project, so it was in this turtle tank, which I did not like. Once I pulled it out of hibernation and I was looking at it, I don't like how I did the stripes. You can really tell they have kind of some holes and stuff. I don't know what I did to make that jog so bad, but I was like, if I'm gonna have this tank top, I wouldn't want it to do that. So I will probably reknit it at some point and do a better job with stripes. But for now, I'm cannibalizing the brown just straight off of here. I've been knitting it onto the sock, and I'm using it on these socks. So the other stuff, this is Chili Knits yarn that my mom gave to me, and I knit a cowl for Megs many years ago. Yeah, I can't even remember how many years ago. This, I think, is a mini from the Throne of Glass advent calendar from Plies and Hellhounds. This peach is some random mini skein. I don't even know what it is. It was just, I think somebody sent it to me, maybe. This is Moonstone Dye Works. It was from the Moons collection. And I used this in my last unicorn sweater. And then this is more of the teacup because I didn't really use it in a pattern. I just used it on the cuff, so I thought it would kind of round it out to use that again. And then leather bound for the toe. So if I turn it, do it this way. This is why people have sock blockers. I don't. There we go. The only modification that I made is the pattern calls for going all the way through this and then doing like a standard wedge toe. But this made the foot long enough that I actually had to do double decreases. So I did like 2 rows of decreases, 1 plain row, 2 rows of decrease, 1 plain row, just to make my decrease rate a little bit faster, so that it would still, fit my foot and not be too long for my toes. So I do really like it. I started out putting the chili knits here too, And I was like, I don't like that. Going from this light peach to this really bright pink. Hubble's digging the floor. I didn't like it. So I was like, I want a minty green, I think. And I'm happy that I did the minty green. I really like it. So anyway, Cookie Swap Socks by Dana Ray Makes. I'll probably cast on the second one today because I'm kind of annoyed with having this laying around. So I want to finish frying it and get it knit up. Okay, so now we will move on to the 12 cast-ons. And I have them written down, so I'm going to get my notebook out. So my first cast-on of the 12 cast-ons is in this bag from my friend Lisa. Came in the Advent this year, and it is the String of Lights Socks pattern by Lindsay, who's Sock Witchery, and the yarn I'm using is the Yarn at Home Mom in Wonderful Christmas Time. So it was the full skein from my Yarn at Home Mom Advent calendar many years ago. So it's just a nice basic Knits and Purls sock pattern. I haven't done anything on it really since I cast it on. So this was my Christmas Eve cast on. So this was everything that I did on Christmas Eve, and I have not touched it since then. The Progress Keeper is from Charmed and Dangerous. I tried to match my Progress Keepers to my projects. I think I did a pretty good job for the most part. Okay, so that was number one. Number two, I'm trying to remember where all of these things are, is the Welcome to the Party Pal socks. And these are by also Lindsay, Sock Witchery. They're in my travel bag still, and I just had stuff shoved in here because I use this kind of as my carry-on. I'm not going to be able to untangle it. It's okay. So Megs and I watched Die Hard together. It was their first time seeing Die Hard ever, and it was really fun. So we watched it during Christmas time, and yeah, Lindsay published this pattern in December, so I was like, I need to knit this into socks. So the yarn is Ginger Snap That in some random color that I don't remember, but I won this sock set from the Distant Stitches podcast, and my friend Liz and I are knitting both the String of Lights and the Welcome to the Party Pal socks together. It is that bright, it is neon pink. So yeah, I thought this one was kind of like, it looked kind of like blood, and you know, poor Bruce Willis, John McClane gets very bloody over the course of that movie. So I thought it was perfect. Plus 80s colors from the pink. And I've got this little melting snowman cookie. Because screaming. like Hans falling off the Nakatomi building. It makes sense to me. Okay, getting stuff out of my way because I have so much stuff over here. Okay, the next one I cast on was the Dark Academia, see, Silverware from the Plains though. The Dark Academia sweater by Shannon Hartley, who is River Road Knits. So it is an all-over colorwork sweater, and it has been on my list since it came out. It came out not last Rhinebeck, but the one before, and Murky Depths Dye Works had the sample in their booth at India Untangled, and I was like, oh my god, I need to knit this sweater. So I finally cast on for this sweater, and I'm actually using the colorway that was Gabby's colorway from that same India Untangled. And I, again, always intended this to be this sweater. So I'm really excited that I got it cast on. It is the Hagstone colorway, and it's on the Nectar base. Hello. So I have finished all of the short row shaping, and I'm ready to begin the color work chart. And that's where I left it, because casting on 12 things is more than you think it is, especially given like the travel that got thrown in there and everything else. So I didn't want to leave it in the chart. So I figured it was better just to do it at this point. My alternate color, my contrast color, is going to be this one, which is Yugen, also from Flies and Hellhounds. This was a special order. Was it a special order? Or was it just that she did it? I feel like I special ordered it. I don't know. It's on the ginger base, and she doesn't really dye stuff on the ginger base. And I did buy it from her shop. I didn't pick it up like at a show. And normally she just has ginger at shows now. So it's going to be real like dark, subtle color work. It's going to be so pretty. So I'm very excited for that one. I have 4 skeins of the hagstone, so I have plenty of yarn to make this happen, and I have 2 of the ginger, which is more than sufficient. I've been playing a lot of yarn chicken lately, so I kind of sort of don't want to play yarn chicken for a while. This one was yarn chicken. Something else was yarn chicken. I've blocked it out of my mind because I don't want to play yarn chicken for a while. Okay. Then the next thing I cast on is a sockhead hat for Josh. So we were talking, and he can't find his sockhead hat that I knit for him several years ago out of Felici in the Sticks and Stones colorway. But he wants another one, and he wants the ribbing to be shorter. Because that one I knit I knit it to pattern, and he did wear it, and he like folded up the brim, and he was like, I'd love to not fold up the brim and have it just be like real thin, so that if he kind of wants a hat but doesn't want it to be too hot, that's the thought. And so I also used the Lucent base, which has silk in it, and I think that will also help with the sweaty head. So this is the Fenrir colorway. It's from the, whatever, like the Monsters one, the collection that Gabby did. I got all of the colorways, but, yeah, I'm blanking now. But anyway, this is the Fenrir colorway. And this is how much of the hat I have done so far. I don't remember where I got this stitch marker, but it's a tea bag, and it has a little heart on the tag, which does not want to flip for you. So, sorry. So that was cast on number 4. Cast on number 5 was the Le Feu mittens. And these I learned about from the Twin Aura Knits podcast. So they were talking about them as like they had been in a booth where someone had them, and everybody really liked that they have a full liner. So this is the yarn that Disa gifted me in the Advent. She sent me the Advent package, and it's Frost, which is a Swedish sock yarn. Both of the outer mittens are done. I can't try this one on because it has a liner, but next comes my Tale of Woe. So they basically match. This one's a little bit lighter. This was 1 ball. That's what it took to knit these. And they are the same length, even though they don't look like it, because this one's getting pulled down by the liner and doesn't have a hand inside of it, and this one does. I had just enough of the black from the end that I wound it on, wound it to a separate ball and knit the thumbs in black, because I kind of didn't want them to be completely different. But you can tell, like, see, this one's way lighter, so it was gray. But I thought the black was better than doing like one of these crazy colors and having a really weird thumb. So they are like, there's a decrease that goes along, and you knit them the mirror of each other, basically. So there is a handedness to them. And then you pick up and knit the opposite hand onto the inside. However, you can see if I fold this in half, it's not even close to the same, even though I knit it on the same needles. It's wild how much different it is, and it's much wider. So this is, I just had the tag, Barocco Andean Mist. And it is a baby Surrey alpaca mulberry silk blend, but it calls for a size 6 US. So I think it's too thick. I think it's too thick to knit liners. I was originally thinking I'd go down maybe 2 needle sizes and see if I could make it work. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to rip this all back, and I have a like this color mohair, and I'm going to use that instead. Because I did want it to be a fuzzy liner to make it be really warm, because just the sock weight on its own, it's not very warm. But yeah, I think I need a lace weight to go inside the mitten so that it, because it needs to be slightly smaller, right, to be able to fit inside there. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to rip this all out. I knit this all on the plane coming home, and then I got to the end and I was like, what? This is a million times bigger. There's no way this is fitting inside of this. But it was fine. It was very zen. I was watching season 11 of Great British Baking Show. And I just need to watch the conclusion. I'm on the finale, but then Meg's was watching too, and I didn't want to ruin that whole season, so I just said, well, I'll just wait and we'll watch it together, because we're almost done with season 12. We kind of skipped season 11. I don't know why. This is what I have left of the Frost, so I still have enough to make a square for my blanket. Okay, then cast on number 6 is the companion sweater to the Dark Academia that was just released this year. A lot of empty needles right now. And it is the Light Academia sweater. Also by River Road Knits, obviously. Did I print the first page? I don't know if I did. Okay, and I actually pre-bought this because they had a sale on it if you purchased it before Indie Untangled, and they weren't going to release it till November, but they wanted to have it so that if people wanted to purchase their yarn while they were at Rhinebeck, they could do that. So I did pre-purchase it, but I knew I wasn't going to cast it on until the 12 cast on. So at the top here, you can't really see it, but this is cabling, and it's like the tops of like cathedral windows, so kind of mirroring this down here in the color work, but it's all with cables, and there's like a lace neckline. So I don't know what my contrast color is going to be. It's going to be something green, sort of like ivy, but I don't know which green because I have several that would work. So I still need to decide that, but I have this whole yoke before I need to make that decision. So I am knitting the main color in Plies and Hellhound's Selkie base in the Ephemera colorway, which is like a very, very light bone color. So it has kind of some grayish tan to it, but it's otherwise a cream. And it's making my camera be all weird and warm. So I have only knit the neckline so far. But it's just a really simple lace, and I think it'll open up, you know, when it's blocked. But this doesn't look like, it's not frog yarn. I don't know why it looks like it is. And I have 4 balls of that. So again, plenty to make this happen. It's been in my stash for a long time. I was going to originally knit an Anna Johanna pattern with it, but I just never felt compelled to do so. So yeah, when the Light Academia came up, I was like, nope, I want both of these sweaters, And yeah, I cast them both on this year. Okay, and then I cast on the Brightest Tea. Find this. I think it's in this bag. Yes, it is in this bag. There's also some minis in here. I'm not sure why. Okay, so the Brightest Tea is by Lily Kate France, who is Lily Kate Makes on Instagram. And I wanted to knit one of her patterns for a long time. I really like them. They're kind of simple silhouettes, but very wearable. So this is a terrible printout, but it's basically like a tee, and then it has some little eyelets along the waistline. So they kind of start just at half bust and kind of go down the sides. There is bust. It is in 21 is the Loneliest Number from, oh my God, the Yarn at Home Mom. This was a Gilmore Girls colorway. There was a year of Gilmore Girls stuff that she did, and I also picked up a skein from Jilly's D-Stash because I wanted to make a tee out of it, and I only had one, and there were only so many that were ever made, so I bought my second one from Jilly. So there you go. So it's got gold, black, and pink speckles, and it's a white base. And so Lily Kate Makes, she has kind of a unique construction, and this clearly is her construction for her garments, where you start at the back and then kind of work short rows to do like the shaping for coming up over the shoulders. And then you come back and pick up to do the front or maybe the neck. I don't know. I don't know, but I'm gonna figure it out. So it's my first time ever constructing a garment this way. So that is what I finished. I basically finished, this is gonna be the back piece. So it's gonna go like this and up over the shoulders. And then she also does these sleeve caps with short rows. So yeah, we're going to see what happens. But now I'm at the part where I would just knit down to the bottom of the armhole and then go and do whatever we're going to do in the front. So I left it at that point because then it's something I can pick up and knit on. I don't have to look at the pattern. I started out knitting in a 5 because that usually works, and then like I was checking my gauge and it was actually kind of loose. I didn't want to redo all this work though, so I just switched to a 4. I don't care. If it's a little bit looser on the shoulders, that's just fine because I have very broad shoulders. So that's the Brightest Tea by Lily Kate France. Then I cast on some socks because I had freed up needles by doing the tube socks. So I cast on the Filicini that I had in my stash in the Lemon Bar colorway. And I used Plies and Hellhounds on the Marie Cutie base. This is the Day colorway. I got Day and Night to make a set of fingerless mitts. I'm still going to do that, but the Colorwork fingerless mitts will not take the whole of both balls. So I was like, that matches really well with the yellow, so I'm going to go ahead and do a contrast cuff, heel, and toe. I have to say I don't like the Filicini as much. It is not as soft as Felici. It feels more like it has cotton in it, though it says that it doesn't. I don't know if it's like overspun or something, but it does not feel as good. So I understand why people were like, ugh, bring back Felici. And they did bring back Felici. But I have 2 balls of this. This one and one other one that's, I think, Stagecoach. And that's all I have in my stash. So I'm glad I didn't buy very much of it. But this is only the first sock. I had a whole bunch of socks that were sitting at this point. I hate knitting heel flaps. I just don't like it. Once I get to the heel turn, I'm fine, but I don't like knitting this heel flap part. But I love how they fit me, so I just have to deal with it. Great, now they're gonna fit. Bubble, please no. Okay, I cast on the Shore cardigan. This is from the Swoon Maine book. It is a top-down raglan cardigan that has a high-low hem. That's basically it. Otherwise, it's just plain. There's a garter stitch button band. I think I'm going to swap that out for a ribbed button band because it has ribbed cuffs, bottom, and collar. So I just don't think the garter button band matches it. So I'm going to do a ribbed one. Oh my god. Hubble, please leave Ada alone. But anyway, this is ephemera on the chunky tweed base. Also applies in tones. My other one had a progress keeper from Dragon Horde Yarns. We'll see if they hit the camera. They're fighting with each other. Good times. I won this in, or Kristen had like complimentary gifts for the first, I don't know, however many people that spent $100 at Fireworks Festival, and I got the last one. So it had like a sock set, some minis, some stitch markers. So anyway, there were 2 of those stitch markers for the dragons from 4th Wing. So, yep, this is what it's going to be. And this is like really nice and soothing to knit. I think I'm knitting it on a size 6. I thought I was using a size 7, but it is a 6. Which is a 4mm needle. But I'm getting gauge, so good stuff. I'm going to add pockets too, because I want a cardigan with pockets. None of mine have pockets. Oh my god. Such a little oh my god, he just like leaped over the clothes basket. Like full on leapt over it. Chaos. I'm almost done. Okay, then I knit, cast on the Scrap Witchery blanket, which is also by Sock Witchery, maybe my 3rd project by Lindsay. This one, Sue and I are also knitting together. The sort of unofficial cow. Oh my god, they're gonna come with the camera. They've already moved it. So I am using Knit Picks Felici undyed, and then I'm holding it double with my Chromatic Yarns Advent Calendar from this year, which was Muppet Christmas Carol themed. And I had the card with the colorways right here. I just haven't put it back in there. So I've done 2 so far. The first one is I'm here to tell the story, and the second one is I am here for the food. So I just finished I am here for the food. So this is I am here to tell the story. This is I am here for the food. And I'm going to join Mr. Humbug next. It looks small because I have it on a small cord, but it actually is about 65 inches across. And I'm getting about 3 inches of length. So I should end up with around like a 72-inch long blanket pre-blocking. It's a fisherman's rib pattern. And so it's nice and squishy and very potato chippy. I'm enjoying it a lot. So that's kind of my go-to nighttime knitting while we're watching shows or whatever at that time. This is chaos. Such chaos. Okay. We're almost done. Okay, then the Lakefront cardigan is my next to last cast on. It is a pattern by Amy Miller, and it is a scoop neck, drop shouldered sweater. I am knitting it out of Plies and Hellhounds Lucid base in the Charybdis colorway. So it's a deep blue with purples and reds. And it's a BFL silk cashmere blend. I've not got a lot of this done, but I think I finished the short rows. I was real close to being out of time, so I just did cast on and do the short row shaping for the back of the neck. But as I said, it's like a deep scoop neck. And then I got myself a couple of progress keepers for my birthday from Sucre Miniatures. Had an update. She doesn't have updates very frequently, but she had one. So I got this birthday cake piece. I got a cookie and a donut. And then she had a free charm if you bought 3. So my little free charm is kind of like a little bauble with like little sprinkles inside. Very cute. Okay, and then last but not least, and it's not even on this list because I didn't write it on here, is the Feels Right tee. And again, by Lily Kate Mace. So this, or Lily Kate France, who is Lily Kate Mace. This one is just like, it can be a tee or a tank. It's just a fitted tee. I'm pretty sure I'm going to have enough to make the sleeves, but if I don't, I'll just make it be a tank top. That's fine. I don't care. And for this one, I'm using yet another from that collection of the kind of monsters and legends. This is Indus Worm, and it was the very first one that came out. So it's a very light baby pink with orange speckles, and there's also some like kind of raspberry speckles every once in a while. But I went full pink in this bag. So it's in a pink bag. It's got a pink Fuzzy Notions pouch with it. I love this color of pink. I'm very excited to have this tee. And you will recognize this construction from the Brightest tee. You make those little short rows and these little McDougalers for the shoulders. So this one, because it can be a tee or a tank, doesn't have like as much of a collar structure to it. But now I just knit flat till I'm ready to where my bottom of my armhole would be. This was the donut that I got from Sucre Miniatures. It's a cloud and star. I think it was called a cosmic donut. It's so cute. And such delicate, pretty colors. I thought it matched this sweater really well. So that is all 12 of my cast-ons. I love each and every one of them. I'm very, very excited for my year of making. So thank you so much, Angela, for this great idea. It is the original idea of Angela from the Yarn and Yarns podcast.
Hey, Mom.
Hey, bud. You get too cold?
Yeah.
It was so cold out there.
Hello, people. I just went on a hike.
Okay. Well, don't get in here because there could be ticks.
What? No, it was way too cold.
Well, it was warm earlier today. I don't know.
No, it was freezing the whole time.
Okay. All right. Okay, and then the last couple things I have to show are kind of more our acquisition-y, kind of, sort of. So this was my day 25 skeins from Sue's Advent package. But of course the Canadian packages got to me well after Christmas. They came in January, I think. So I just opened them kind of sort of throughout January. I think I started January 3rd. And sometimes I open one day, some days I open 2. So this is Mistletoe Kisses from Turtle Pearl Yarns. And I definitely want to make these socks soon. And then from Jessica, she made me a pair of socks, which I'm so excited about. Because people don't knit socks for me, ever. So that's pretty special. So thank you, Jessica, for these great socks. I didn't wear them, so I could show them on the podcast. And then for myself, for my birthday / anniversary, I got this beautiful fade. It was, okay. It was part of a bundle, so it came with this and this. I think it's supposed to be a shawl kit, but I'm not going to make a shawl. Okay. This is the Black Beak Fade, which is Throne of Glass. And then this full 2 skeins is called Witch Killer. But I think this will be a either tank or tee. It's a single space. It's really hard to tell because it is so shiny. Here we go. It's a deep red. And then these were pre-orders from October that did not come until January. I've not opened them yet. They are from the Tortured Poets collection, which was Pigment and Ply. And she did like all of the songs of the Tortured Poets collections. There were, what, 36 or something. It was a double album. So I got How Much Sad Did You Think I Had? And Puzzle Pieces in the Dead of Night. And the nice thing was she did a half skein, because I usually don't use 3 full skeins. I use 2.5 skeins to make a sweater. So this is 420 meters per 100 grams. And then this is a 50 gram skein. So this is 210. So that's 28, 40, 940, 950, 950 meters. So this one, like I said, is How Much Sad Did You Think I Had? It's kind of a green, like a cool foresty green. And then Puzzle Pieces in the Dead of Night, I thought was a charcoal, but it's actually a very warm, like eggplant color, which is also really pretty. But it's a really deep purple. And it's got kind of this silver and brown in it. So yeah. So they were more affordable because I could get the partial skein. And if I need to do 3/4 sleeves, then whatever, I'll do 3/4 sleeves. And she included a little stitch marker too, which I did not order. It was just a little gift. Very nice. That was everything that I had to share. And everybody's back, so I'm gonna go. But thank you guys for watching and sticking with me. I hope you get some time to do the things you love, and I will talk to you later. Bye!